Okay, welcome back. This is going to be the after-action report for the UCF Gunboat raid on the 16th of December. This is going to be a fun one because there's lots of fights, and although the last one didn't go quite according to plan, we learned a lot though, learned plenty, and we also, achieved most of the goals that we set out to achieve. So for those who've never watched any of these after action reports before, what I do is that I go through from the higher level stuff to the operational and strategic level, discuss what we were there, what happened, and did we achieve what we set out to achieve. And then I will go into the tactical analysis of all the battles. And we got three very good engagements that I'm going to talk through. So I'll explain what it was going through my mind as we were going through the engagement, and then I'll fill in the blanks because fog of war and all that. I'll put in all of the debrief notes as I'm talking through, so I can tell people like this is what we thought was happening, but this is what actually happened, and we wanted to do this, but this is how it happened, so forth and so forth. You'll catch on as you watch through the video. So let us begin with the slides. So the slides here are from the pre-op briefing that I gave. So just anybody that didn't show up, you can see how it was, what we did. So this year was the main objective that we were looking for. It was just to get the UCF up to 4ND operational standards. We're trying to break in everybody into how we operate and how we want to operate moving forward. And the second point here is trying to get people more involved into commanding gunboats and also commanding recon teams, because this is very important. Without good commanders, we can't move forward. It's just going to be us doing limited raids moving forward, and that's not what we want to do. We want to get into some major fleet engagements, and we want to get ready for the big battles that are going to come up during the late game. So this here was the primary objective. It's more abstract philosophical stuff that we were looking for, but of course you can't organize a sortie or an operation just on that. So this was what I was aiming to do, was to plan to just go out and logi raid basically. It's what 4ND does, what it specializes in, and this is what we're trying to pass on to you guys, how to handle the ship-to-ship combat, because it's very hard. It takes a lot of experience and a lot of combat hours to get into it really properly, and it's necessary. You have to understand, because the Wardens, they don't have a large ship like the destroyer, right? They have a submarine, which is basically next to useless. So their strategy, as we saw in the last war, and they've carried it on much more deadlier and efficient in this war, is gunboat swarms. So no matter what happens, you're gonna be outnumbered, you're gonna be outgunned, but it doesn't mean you're gonna lose, all right? Like most of the people here that are probably gonna be watching the vid, they know that we've been in tight situations before. We've taken on 1-on-3 and 1. We know that on paper it is possible. It is possible to do. And when you scale it up to the larger numbers, it's still very much possible. The law of averages kicks in. But yeah, so these were the tactical objectives basically. You just find stuff and kill them and come back home alive if possible. We always try to maximize efficiency in 4th Naval. It's we go out, we get as many kills, and we bring the stuff back home, come back alive. Usually the people will end up getting killed along the way. You get sniped off by a couple of rounds here and there, but there's more than enough crewmen on the boat to recrew the important positions and bring the gunboat back home. So this was the force roster here. The staging went very well. So the standard that we have is 5 minutes. Staging and preparation from the moment you pull a gunboat out of seaport should not take more than 5 minutes. The moment the gunboat's pulled out, everybody should be on point. Get the ATRs on the side points, get all the ammunition loaded up. You only need at least 30 HE shells. We brought 50 because we knew it was going to be a big fight. I'll get into details of the operational level stuff here in a bit, but you don't really need that many HE shells. Naval combat only lasts a couple of seconds. It's very, very short, very intense, and yeah, people die very quickly. Your ATRs usually do most of the work when you're going into ship-to-ship combat. But yeah, I was quite happy with the turnout. We got 3 fully loaded gunboats and a scout team. Ideally, I would have liked a lot more scouts, but we'll get to that later. Scout teams and the kind of people that you need takes a certain type of character and a player to be a scout and also be a good scout as well. That's very important. but I'll discuss that in the second battle where reconnaissance plays into the tactical engagement. But yeah, so we had 3 fully loaded gunboats and 1 scout team, and this was the loadout that we took out. So equipment-wise, so this is up standard stuff. This is what is going to be the standard moving forward. No major changes here. The port side gunner is going to be the dedicated medic from now on, and we don't need to bother too much with the trauma kits. We just go for first aid kits only, and the priority heals are for the driver and commander. If you do have space in inventory, I mean, sure, go ahead. But what we're going to do is that for the gunners and the watchmen, we want them to have an automatic weapon of some kind, like a pitch gun at least, because of what happens in the first engagement here. We actually get boarded, so we're going to need some dedicated firepower that when we get into close quarter engagements to repel boarders. So I'm not too sure if we're going to be able to have the encumbrance level to do that, but this is standard right here. The first aid kits is a priority. The trauma kits can wait for later, because like I said in the Gunboat training series, it happens every time. There's always someone that makes the mistake of mispressing a button, and instead of like healing the down guy, they pick them up. And once you pick up a guy, you become encumbered. And once you're encumbered, the gunboat ceases to maneuver. It's the game mechanics how it works. And in the middle of a fight, we cannot afford to do that. If that has happened before and it's cost us gunboats, not acceptable. So yeah, this is the priority here for that. But yeah, there was confusion as to what the watchman's role was. So when you're doing fleet maneuvers, right? When you're operating multiple warships, and this comes into play when you're doing like the large fleet maneuvers where you got to screen destroyers and battleships and long hooks and all that. You need to have the radio backpack on the screens, because the fleet commander needs to know where his screens are, where his reconnaissance units are. He's got to know where everybody is when he looks at the map. He can't keep depending on people to give him great codes or put up map marker posts and all that. That's not the way it goes down. So, and it actually played out very well in this operation, because the third gunboat wasn't part of the main group. It wasn't on the TeamSpeak comms, because it was Waffle was the guy that commanded the third gunboat, and he's not part from 4th Naval. He's UCF. So, but he did a fantastic job in this operation. He went above and beyond what very few Foxhole players are capable of doing. But we'll get to that in the third engagement. But having the Watchman radio backpack is of vital importance. You can't command and control fleet units on battlefield like this without knowing where everybody is at any one time. It's good stuff. And of course, extra pair of eyes on the binos to keep situational awareness on the boat. Always good. This was a new implementation here, so whenever you deploy a gunboat, the helmsman needs to be the one to lock and squad reserve the boat. Because too many times when you're out in the open ocean and the squad reservation gets lost, and then everybody can't access the boat, it's unacceptable. We can't have that going down. But yeah, so this is what we've got going here. There's some of the changes that we're going for. So the side gunners and the watchmen need to just have an automatic weapon. Pitch gun is more than enough. This one, yeah, worked out quite well. We did resupply and refit at Surgegate, although things went wrong there, but we'll get to that in the third engagement. Scout team for Bread, nothing discussed there. Bread was on point all from the start, just as usual. Split up the comms. It worked out. There was an extra one here. There was the others Discord channel where the third gunboat team assembled, and yeah, very happy with their performance. Excellent stuff. And okay, so this is just the reconnaissance that didn't play into the actual operation. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the clip, and I'll run through each of the 3 engagements and walk through all the things that happened there, all the things we learned, and teach some of the tactics and gunboat command skills that if anybody here wants to, be part of these sorties and operations moving forward, I'll teach you how to get it done and how to get it done right. All right, so we'll go through the first engagement. So we had the recon team already been operating in this area for about 5 minutes now, and these 2 water gunboats have been trying to shell Lipsia, which is the island off to our left here. So this was perfect, because they're busy trying to do shore bombardment. They ain't gonna see us until the last minute. We're just gonna go in and get them. So what I tried to do here was something new. So we have the advanced tactic of pushing the gunboat off to the side so that we can get broadside on. He can only commit one of his guns to our 2. But what I'm trying to do here is that I'm going to try and ram both of them at the same time and push them off to the side. Now, I didn't know if this was possible. My helmsman also didn't know it was possible, but I didn't need to say anything. Once he saw the situation as I'm lining up here, it's like, oh yeah, we're going to try this because it's going to be fun. This battle, I will admit, is one of the far more sloppier engagements that I've handled in quarterback. Basically, the better way to have gone about this was to have had Gorgazor come on my left and behind, so echelon to the left. I should just mention here that we don't have any standardized formations, but in the third engagement, I'm going to discuss the formations moving forward because we're going to need to work this one out. But yeah, the mistake here was that I had Gorgazor on my right. I should have had him deployed on my left as we were going into this. And then as I ram the rear of this ship, we can envelop them on both sides. He go this end here, I go this end here, and they wouldn't stand a chance. And in this case here, we take unnecessary damage and some unnecessary hits, basically. But yeah, I'll let the clip roll until we get to the next point, then I'll input what changes we're going to put in moving forward.
007, roger.
Stay right behind me, Gorgazor. I'm going to ram the first one, and then come around on my right. Stay on my behind and right. I'll get you around to them.
Copy that.
Contact, data hit, bearing 356, range 90, closing in fast. Helm, left rudder to bearing 357. Ram the rear. Port side gunner, stand by to engage. Ram him. Nice, nice. Bring us alongside, all stop, all reverse. So the problem with why I should have had Gorgazor to the left was this island here. This is the second island of Lipsia to the northeast. Yeah, northeast. So he doesn't have any room to maneuver. And the way I was thinking in my head was that we would have pushed him and they would have been a little bit off more to the left here, but instead they reversed back, so there's no room to maneuver here. This was the problem here. There was a little bit more room to maneuver at the front, but I usually, in my experience, Warden gunboats, they always maneuver forward because trying to get their front arc with their their cannon, which is 360, maneuvering forward and trying to chase down in head-on engagements like that, usually what they prefer. But instead, they reversed and backed themselves up into the rear here, which is the correct maneuver for them. So Gorgazor doesn't get too many good shots in here. So this was a very sloppy attack here. But we still win the day. And what happens here is that this gunboat here, the back guys are gonna board us. So we've pulled this maneuver off at least 7 times now. This is the 7th time that we've done it. Everything has gone fine so far in all 7, but this is the first time that we've been boarded because of our close proximity to the enemy in this case. So, which is why from moving forward now on, we're gonna have the side gunners and the watchmen have automatic weapons on them, small arms, and we're gonna implement a new command here. So basically, there's no threats off to the other side here. There's no other danger. It's a very enclosed position, so we can't really get flanked that hard. I'm going to implement a new order where if we're engaged on just one side and one side alone, I'll just inform the other gunner who can't see the full picture. Just tell him that, okay, there's no threats on your side. Just hop off the gun, take cover behind here, and just get prepared if in case the enemy boards us, or if you get shots on, if we get in behind them, you can fire away at them. That way we can maximize our crewmen on the gunboat. Yeah, I'll work up what the term is and all that, and then do a short bullet point handbook, basically, of like how you want to play it out that way. But yeah, that's definitely what we're going to do moving forward. But I'll play the rest of the clip here, show us destroying the 2 of them, and then move on to the second engagement. All reverse, all reverse. Coming from me.
We're boarded, we boarded.
Nice one, well done.
I need help, I've got borders.
Copy that.
Stay in.
I have 10 seconds.
Merlin, do you need medic support?
Nice.
So mistake on my part there. I was too focused on making sure that Gorgazor had enough room to get over there, but the border there had already forced Red out of the seat, which was the correct move to do, and I should have gone off and helped him. But yeah, gonna keep that in mind moving forward. And I shouldn't have been too worried about keeping the situational awareness because Bread's still alive. He's often behind us. He's got eyes on stuff that are behind us if anything comes and jumps us. So yeah, it was definitely not the best of the engagements that we've had so far, for my part, that is. But hey, we got them both. We are disabled, but we're right next to Lipsia, which is friendly territory. So what happens after this is we just go off the Lipsia, we get off near the rocky shoals. That way we can put our characters next to the gunboat to put the B-mats in to repair it. And after we're repaired, the scout team gets fueled up again, and then off we go into the northern part of Godscroft. So yeah, this we're gonna improve the repel borders part here. Definitely moving forward. Slight mistake, but yeah, 2 kills, 2 for nil. All right. Now let's see. We need to let them come towards us. Just yeah, I see you, but keep an eye out too behind you if you don't want to get jumped from the flank. Okay, so here's a situation that we've refitted and resupplied at Lipsia. The gunboat contact that you see here, that's the 3rd gunboat that's just about to get on TeamSpeak. But yeah, this is Waffles gunboat, so they took some time, actually a little bit more time to get theirs ready from Saltbrook, and they managed to catch up, managed to identify where we were, and they managed to link up with us as well. So that was very impressive. Now, here is the problem. So we know that there are 2 gunboats here at Isawa, because Isawa is the QRF main hub for the Warden Navy in this section. It's always from here. That's why in the 3rd engagement, I kind of understood like it was a little bit different for the enemies that we're fighting because they had spawned at Exit, but we'll get to that later. But we have two Warden gunboats that are right here. And basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to bait us into the coastal gun. I've been here before, and there's a gap here of about like 20 to 30 meters where you can bypass the coastal gun. I managed to pull off a maneuver through there whilst there was 3 gunboats being prepped, hunt down, and we managed to intercept Logi, killed it, and then get out. But to fight 2 Warden gunboats under the coastal gun range right here, which extends to around about here, no way. This is prepared ground for the enemy. They know that, and they're trying to bait us in. There's no way I'm going to take this fight. And most of the 4th Naval have seen this pulled out before. And there's quite a few of the UCF guys that did make comments during this engagement. But I'm going to explain something that something for people to think about. This is one of the main differences between the good tacticians and the bad tacticians. Usually, people always get a lot gung-ho in this game because you spend so many hours trying to get everything prepared. The moment you find an enemy, you just want to engage him. You gotta have a little bit of discipline and just wait it out. All right, because sometimes the best maneuver is no maneuver. You'd be surprised by how many engagements we've won by literally just doing nothing. It's it sounds counterintuitive, but it fucking works beautifully. If you're in a bad position or it just doesn't look good, doesn't feel right, you're not obligated to engage. There's no rule saying that you found the enemy, you must fight. That is like some bullshit, all right? That's how you get yourself killed for no reason and waste everybody's fucking time. No. Sometimes all you need to do is just wait, and in some cases, all you need to do is just run. Like I've pulled that off many times where if it's just not a good engagement, where we're outnumbered and outgunned and we have no room to maneuver, I'll just say, okay, fine, I'll let you have that. I'll go somewhere else, do something else. And then 15 minutes later, the enemy who is getting agitated goes like, oh no, we found them, they're running away, we gotta go fight them. Well, now you're in my prepared ground, I'm gonna fuck you over. It's it is so simple and elegant of an idea that so many people just has it just goes right over their head. So right here, as I said, we've got 2 Warden gunboats. They're right under the coastal gun, and they're trying to bait us. The maneuvers that they're trying to pull off, it's not normal Warden gunboat maneuvers, especially if you want to engage. They're going side to side, left to right along our axis here. Yeah, they're giving us broadside on, basically. They're literally trying to bait us in because they're saying, hey, here's our broadside. We know you've got the advantage on that. Come and get us. Like, nah, we're good. So what I try to do here is I do a little bit of a waiting game because sometimes this usually works and this has worked out before. All you need to do is just wait out the opponent because they may think that they're smart and they're like, okay, we can bait this guy in. And if you just wait 5 minutes, all of a sudden it's like, no, there's only 2 of them. We can take him now. Why not? But these guys weren't as dumb as the they're trying to make themselves look to be. So they were quite intent on just waiting it out. At which point then I made the call to pull out. So the way that we have it operating here is that I've got the scout team on the TeamSpeak channel. I've got Gorgazo on the TeamSpeak channel, and Waffles is about to enter the TeamSpeak channel, but he's not really in the picture at this point. So deploying the scout teams, basically, the way I read it, chances of being flanked from the north here quite slim. It'll take a lucky guy to figure it out to take a gunboat, go through the channel, and then come around from the flank. Because at this point they don't have much watchtower coverage. There's an ops bunker right here at the top of Segio, which gives them quite a lot of coverage. On this end here, we try to sneak past. At Ursa base, the last time I checked it, I didn't really see any ops bunker. But even if there was, we are just quite out of range, and Agoza has already been taken out. So we're undetected. We only have visual contact on us here. I'm not concerned about anything coming from the north. I'm not concerned about anything coming in from the rear here per se, because we were just here. We took a major engagement here. That was the first engagement. We maneuvered around through the middle and up to the north here. So this part's all pretty much clear. But I have set a screen up in between Agoza and Segio in this channel here, just in case they try something smart and they maneuver rapidly around the back and then try and get us on the flank here. So that's what I've got going there. In the past, what I've done is try to extend the recon team to like the other side, because ideally it would be better if I could get him here. That way you can see if they're trying to maneuver out in any of these 3 exit channels. But the problem with that, with extending your recon out that far, is that they usually get themselves into a lot of trouble and they get killed, which is nothing wrong, because sometimes that's the play that needs to be made. But I wasn't going to risk it here. I wanted to keep Brett alive for as long as I can, put him in a safer spot to cover my flank. So that was what's going on here. And around about 7-8 minutes passed, and then I called it. It's like, okay, we'll go somewhere else. And the plan here was a little bit, it was quite simple. We're going to go and approach it from the other angle here, from the west side of East Lawa. And in doing so, we give us a chance to look at Axit, because I really want to identify what this contact here is at Axit. We thought that it could have been a Warden QRF, but it wasn't. It was just an iron ship. So that's what happened here, and that's what happened in this engagement here. And that's the tactical wisdom I can dispense in this part. And as you can see, in the second part here, when we get the engagement, it worked out beautifully. So let me skip across to 48. I'll stop. Okay, so all right, so here we are, about 10 minutes later. So we went down the Axit area, took a look at the shipyard and the seaport. No activity there, just iron ships. So we're pretty much clear on this entire flank here. There's nobody here. So we're approaching it from the west side now. Now, everyone would be saying here, but Merlin, I mean, think about it. This approach angle is basically the same problems as this approach angle here. You're going into a narrow strait. You don't have that much room to maneuver. And the coastal gun's off to the back here. Like, yes, this is true. But however, this is the second time I've fought an engagement in this exact spot right here. I fought an engagement in this exact spot right here twice before. This is going to be the third time, and we won every battle in this spot right here. It may not look like prepared ground, but for me it is, and most of the 4th Naval guys know because they've been in all those battles. This right here is our kill zone right here. We have more than enough room to maneuver between the Den of Thieves and the island of Protoss here. And the ops tower only gets range right up to this rock right here. Okay, so right now they can't see us. We're out of the ops tower range, and as far as I know, I don't think there is an ops bunker. It could be, but this area right here is completely fine. We have more than enough room to maneuver away from the coastal gun. If anybody gets caught out here, we got him. We can run circles around them. There's plenty of room to maneuver in this channel. So that's what we're going to do here. And this is, funnily enough, as I said before, all you need to do is just wait, and the enemy will present the opportunity to kill themselves. And this is what happens here. Those 2 jokers that are trying to bait us in the coastal gun, they got fed up of waiting for us after we bailed out. And what they've done is they've remaneuvered off further west away from the coastal gun into this area. So yeah, right here, they're done for. They don't know they're dead, but they're basically dead.
Did I switch to looking to
Merlin,
at
this
the
is
board?
great over.
Yeah, you just look wherever you think that we might get jumped. It's all on you. So regarding my watchman here, Apollos, he did a very good job because it's his first time running the role, as far as I understood it. And most UCF, as far as I know as well, they don't quite operate radio backpack with binos as extra crewmen on board. But yeah, basically, it's every now and then I will give orders, but people that have operated on my gunboat know that I don't micromanage anybody except the helmsman. There's a lot of initiative that's given to all the crewmen. It's my job as the gunboat commander to just provide all the necessary information quickly and as efficiently as possible. So all of the bearing, all the contacts, where they are, ranges, where they are moving, those are the most important. You don't need to and don't try to micromanage like all the weapons. Like you must point here, there, you must engage this, you must fire this many rounds. That's not practical at all. That's not the right way to command a gunboat in combat like this. So yeah, Apollos here picks it up very very quickly. It's like if we're going down this straight channel here, I don't need him looking forward. Just need him looking behind because that's the only blind spot that we have. So yeah. Go ahead, Bit.
Did you get eyes on that one gunboat?
Negative. We are currently maneuvering to west of Isawa to try take a look at the seaport and where you got killed.
Nathan.
Got him. Contact Warden Gunboat bearing 075, range 190. He's inside Den of Thieves. Contact Warden Gunboat bearing 070, range 200. He's hiding in Den of Thieves. Stand by to engage. So I probably should take this moment here to talk about like how you command a fleet, basically. So we've got all the comms split up, which is necessary. If you don't have good communications, if you don't have good communication system, command and control is just impossible. It's not even practical. Don't think about it. So I've got, as I said before, I've got Bread on one team, one channel, and I've got Gorgazo on another. And Waffle is about to hop in after this run here, once we refit and resupply. So as a fleet commander, you've got to you have to understand you don't just command your own gunboat, you have to command the fleet. And you have to make sure you give everyone all the necessary information that they need in order for them to operate effectively. And of course, you also have to provide leadership. You got to give them a sense of direction of what it is we're going to do, how we want to do it. But like I said before, don't try to micromanage too much because that's usually very detrimental. So in this case here, like I said, they've already overextended. They've been waiting too long. They're agitated because if they've left the coastal gun range from that far to go here in the middle of nowhere to have a look, trying to kill my scout team. Because that's what happened here is that I had redeployed Brit on this side as we were maneuvering up forward, and he got killed. And he's enticed them forward because they're bored, and now they're dead. So that's what's going on here. But yeah, this fight right here, no doubt in my mind, we're taking this right here and we're going to kill them, and then we'll reassess our situation. Helm, all ahead. Make a course bearing 079.
079, Roger.
Try form up directly behind me. It's going to be a close fit.
Copy.
Contact Warden Gunboat bearing 075, range 100 in
Jesus.
closing. So the reason behind that call for Gorgazo to come behind me is that I want to approach this angle here, because I want to get this thing behind me because I need to maneuver. So most of the open space is off to the right hand side of the screen here. I just want to section this place off because I don't want to chase him through the rocks, deny him from escaping through the rocks. We go in here, cut this angle off, have Gorgazo right behind me, and then we've got all the room to maneuver onto the right. Plenty of room to turn and get in and around behind on the broadsides.
Definitely says. Can't see anybody on the back gun.
Gunner target bearing 108, right rudder, make a course bearing 098. Starboard gunner, stand by to engage. So he's running and trying to reverse back to his friend here, and yeah, that's a mistake. He should have just stayed home, boy. Contact second gunboat. Contact second gunboat. Right rudder, hard right rudder.
Second gunboat.
Still rudder.
Point blank range of
Bring us, yeah, keep us like this, Red. Keep us like this. That was some very good shots there. That was amazing. But yeah, they were completely unprepared. You saw them trying to like get right next up to each other in formation, which is at this point it's too late. If the engagement is about to start or you're already in one, you gotta keep maneuvering. If you're stationary, you have no room to maneuver, and you try to tether yourself like that, you're done for. Because then we just run rings around you. Hard right butter, hard right butter. I'm down. Continue maneuvering. Well, that is always a problem. It's the back end, the plates here of the armor. The moment the wardens get a slight angle on you, they get a HE round off. Command crew usually gets knocked out. It's happened many times, and it happens to Waffle in the very last engagement here. But all that's important is that we get as many guns as possible on target and then get it out. And what happens here moving forward is that we actually have killed both gunboats. It's just that that first gunboat that we got all the shots on despawns, and no one saw it despawn. Well, actually, Golgazor has the footage, so that's how we've confirmed it. But in the middle of the engagement, you got more important things to worry about. Once the thing just disappears off to the side of the screen, it happens. Fog of war, basically. But yeah, we killed both these guys, and both gunboats all okay. Nobody gets disabled, and we return the surge gate to refit and resupply. So once again, another very successful engagement. There's a slight maneuver here that gets pulled off. Let's see if I got it on tape. Golgazor, I'm down.
Copy that.
Oh, my gunboat's still live. My gunboat's still active.
Wants to get on starboard
Copy
gun.
that. Collision.
One warden gunboat
Distance 58 meters. Dead gunboat.
So long as they didn't collide head on, that's good, because we still need to keep maneuvering. It's kind of bad because we cut off Golgazor's line of sight his gunner's line of sight off to the right here. But this is as good as it gets, because like I said, we are in a kind of a tight channel. There is plenty of room to do all these maneuvers here, and as you can see, plenty of room for him to just pass us by. And we're basically circling 2 circles around this gunboat that's off to the front of the screen here. And yeah, we get both kills and no gunboats lost. We're at 4-0 at this point. So good stuff. Now we will get to the last and final engagement where everything just goes terribly wrong. So here we are at Surge Gate. And we're here to pick up all the crewmen that died, refuel, and repair, most importantly, because there's a shipyard right here. That's the orders that I gave out. Waffle only gets on TeamSpeak after this. At least that's the way that I remember it. That's the way it looks like, because he doesn't get any repairs in. Now, granted, he's only taken like 2 shots, I think. But of course, ideally, if you're already here and we got all the BMATs on station, just get the repairs on. I mean, it's right there. But breakdown in communication, basically. But can't ask for more because it's his first time operating with us like this, and yeah, the learning curve, learning experience. So he doesn't get any repairs in. Now Gorgazor, I tell specifically, because we're taking up the shipyard space, I tell him just wait a little bit, and then once we get out, you get your repairs in. He said okay. And basically, Gorgazor and his crew completely forget about repairing. So when we get into the last engagement here, he takes 2 hits and he's immediately disabled, which is a damn shame. One of the big problems was that his helmsman, which is a very capable helmsman, he's been with us for a very long time. He's been through a lot of major engagements. He hops off because he needs to go. I'm fairly confident is that if we had him just stay on a little bit longer, he probably would have realized that, oh shit, we haven't repaired yet. We need to get that in. But this right here was a very, very big mistake that happened. There's one more big mistake that happens later on by my front gunner. But this basically ensures that the next engagement we lose. Because having a gunboat that's only like 40% health, especially against the kind of numbers that we're going up against, we really needed all the HP that we could get. And same goes for Waffle's gunboat. But like I said, there's no real communication going on here. In fact, I have to go walk to him first here and get the proxy chat on him, and then discuss to get him on the TeamSpeak. But that's what happens there. And by the time he gets to the shipyard, we're already moving out. I didn't see him get any hits on his gunboat, so in my mind, I thought he was already okay. And considering that he stopped his gunboat here, I assumed that he was okay because he's just trying to get fuel from the mines here. So yeah. Like I said, we're trying to standardize all the operating procedures, so this is all very good stuff. It's mistakes that happen, but we're going to learn from them. So yeah, this is where all the bad stuff starts happening. So Gorgazov forgets to repair his ship, and yeah, we'll just get to the third engagement here, which I'm still quite disappointed at because it's a battle where we could have and we should have won. Well, the rookies, they may look at it and say, well, that's like, too many odds. There's no way you could have won that. No, we definitely could have won it. We've gone up against odds like this before and come out on the other side alive. So yeah, but this is where I'm going to start talking about the standardized fleet formations because we need to figure this one out moving forward. So situation here is that a regiment pulled 3 gunboats from Axid, and they are resupplying here at the oil field at Exile. Bread is already deployed. You can see his marker here. And what I'm just asking him is just, take a look what's going on. Because these guys have spent the last 20 minutes getting their gunboats out from the seaport into here. They're taking like their own sweet time. They're obviously up to something big. And we got eyes on a logistics barge that got pulled out from Axid here. So they've got a lot of manpower behind whatever it is that they're trying to cook up here. So I ordered Brit to just set a screen up here and see if we can get eyes on. He gets quite close a few times, try to entice them. And what I've done is that I've deployed ourselves in the battle line, so we're all right next to each other on the east side of Skoldio Isles, just here. All I need to know is when they leave and where they're going. Because if I try to engage them here, it ain't gonna work out. Because that coastal gun, the range is just outside. Ideally, we would like to go in and engage as they are setting up the shipyard. At the shipyard, that's perfect. The problem is that if anything bad happens and if they just like start maneuvering the moment we start getting in, it's too tight. Because, like I said, coastal gun's right there. If we're trying to engage from this side here, we're done for it. If we're trying to engage from this side over here, I'm not too confident from anything that's coming on from the northwest here because there's been too much activity from Isawa, and this is always a very active naval route. So I'm not taking the risk here. There's also the problem that once you cross borders, your main weapon is locked for 60 seconds. And it's a very long time. It is a very long time. It may not sound like a long time, but it is very long. And Warden gunboats, because of their speed, slightly faster than us, they can definitely close that distance if they see us. Now, I'm pretty confident that they can't see us. There's no watchtower at Skoldio Isle. Primus Tramus has exchanged hands multiple times. And considering the way they reacted when we jumped in on them in the engagement, they definitely didn't see us coming. But we'll get there in a second. So what I'm doing is I'm just waiting for them to leave, find out where they are, and then we're going to intercept and jump them just as they're attacking whatever target that it is. So what happens here is that they are going for Lipsia, basically. So they're going to depart here, south of Exile, and take a route up into Lipsia here. And they're going to shell it from the southern end here. And Bread, because I've got eyes on, once they leave the watchtower, I just have him confirm that they're going there. Of course, the better way we would have liked it is they would cross the border and attack something in Tempest Isles. That way we could jump them at the border, but yeah, that didn't happen. And it was just me hoping, really. So Bread just shadows them as they are moving. And once we confirm that they are moving towards Lipsia to attack that's when we go in. And we cross the border just south of Primus Tramus. That occurs at around here. Let me see. They might do something. So we waited a good amount of time for about like 5 minutes or so to wait. And this goes back to what I was saying about the second engagement. You don't have to take an engagement that just looks bad, right? If it's not in your favor, just chill. And in this case here, we got one of the best intercepts that we probably could have because they didn't see us. They went in, shelled Lipsia, and they were trying to reorganize themselves to set sail to another target, and that's when we hit them. We got all the timing right. It's just that the cards didn't fall the way that we would have liked them to. So let me get here to. Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, let me rewind it a little bit. So Waffles was under the impression that we got trapped, and then we got lured into the trap. Basically, that was not the case, and I'm gonna show you why in a second here if the video player would play properly. Okay, here we go. So they've just already finished shelling Lipsia, and they are heading direct west. Well, they're looking direct west. And what's going on here? Because I know these are the three same guys that we were shadowing on the watchtower. So I know that these guys are all in the same regiment or just in same Discord. They're operating together. This is one unit right here. These guys, it took like 20 minutes to get themselves ready at exile, and they maneuvered all the way here. You can see that they're trying to keep up a tight formation here. So they're looking direct west, looking to either go back to exile or go for the next target. And this guy here, he's maneuvering to try get into formation to line up with them. So we're right on them and they don't see us. And they don't see us until we're right on top of them. And I'll show you why. Warden gunboats bearing 019, range 100. All three are there, stationary. Make a course bearing 022, stand by the ram. Both gunners, all gunners stand by. I'm going to give you targets on all. It's right here they realized they were here because this guy is not looking at us. He was looking off to the other side. He's completely blind. As they're turning here, I'm pretty sure this is the guy that saw us as they were turning and he radioed in. And now they're starting to get guns on, but they're still trying to get themselves organized here. Now my plan here is to just go right through the middle because we've got the advantage of broadsides. If we can get both our guns firing as we go in through the middle, and I bring the rest of the column up from behind me, we're going to get tons of damage in before they get a full volley off because they're facing the wrong direction here. And this guy is maneuvering to intercept us, but he's not maneuvering because he knew. He was trying to get into formation here. So we got a little bit unlucky in the timing here. Ideally, we would have liked it if he was already in setup in whatever kind of formation they were looking west, in which case we could have gotten in right in from behind here, flank around, just like the first engagement. But yeah, it didn't quite go that way. But yeah, now here's where some of the big problems start occurring. Stand by, all stop. All stop. Go on my left, go on my left. Hard right rudder, all hit. So every time that we've taken engagement where we go hit on here, like you've seen already in the previous engagement, the moment that the wardens get a slight angle on the bridge, the driver and commander are gone. So the idea is always you want to start your turn early. Start turning into them as soon as possible. And I always slow down to make sure that we don't overshoot them that fast. It doesn't always work out, but it's much better than just like blazing right past them and give them a clean shot into the rear here. But the problem with that is that I didn't tell Gorgazor that as we were coming in because he's in the tight formation right behind me. So he hits me from behind. Now, we want to try avoid this moving forward. But in this engagement here, it actually helped us because he's rammed me at like the left rear. So I'm getting insane angles and turning on to this guy. He can't get his gun onto the bridge area here. We've got still full cover from the starboard plate here. And Gorgazor, he also, by hitting us at that angle, he's actually getting a lot of good angles and turns on the left. So he's in a good position to chase and destroy by getting good broadsides on one of the gunboats off to our left and behind here. But everything starts going wrong here because of this fella here. Now, this guy is not part of this unit. I'm willing to bet that this guy was part of the two gunboat that we killed about 30 minutes prior at Isawa. Because he's coming down from the far east side of Lipsia. So he definitely is coming up from the north and then from Isawa. And he's all alone. Because considering the amount of time that these guys here took, the amount of time that they took to get themselves prepared and then take the time to get themselves into like that tight formation where they're all in one row, there's no way this guy was a part of it. We just got really unlucky that a QRF guy happened to be at the right time in the right place and come in on our flanks here. And he gets a really good shot, very lucky shot off on Waffle, because Waffle just immediately goes down the moment he enters the engagement. And that basically, as I've said, Gorgazor, at this point right here, Gorgazor is already disabled. He's taken 2 hits, one from this guy and one from the other gunboat off to the left. He's already disabled and then the water. Which meant that Waffle didn't have much room to maneuver, hence why he got a really good shot off, because he wasn't maneuvering that quickly because of the traffic jam, basically. But yeah, bad stuff. But yeah, I'll run the lesson clip. So you see here, Gorgazor is already disabled. 2 hits and he's disabled. Now we kill this guy insanely quickly. 2 ATRs is all you need. But he's dead. Now this is can't fault anybody here, but basically once you see the turret face off to the left and up like that, and you see that there's like crooked parts on the boat, it's dead, right? Because all of our gunners are still firing on this guy, which we don't need to fire. It's already dead. We need to shift fire to the new target, the fresh target, which I try to call out here. But it's just a minor thing that we have to deal with. I mean, to be honest, everything that went wrong with this engagement are all minor details. One more I'm about to get here in a second. But yeah, forgetting to repair the ship, not getting everybody on the same comms at the same time. It's just small things. And of course, small things like this, we don't want to waste shots on something that's already been neutralized. But yeah, it's dead. Target the second one, bearing 212. There, right there. That shot right there. I mean, looking at it from my point of view, because the game's always buggy, but it looked like he was just taking a snapshot because his turret's turning all the way around here. I'm not too sure where. And he just gets one good shot off and boom, most of Waffle's crew is gone. I mean, looking at the angle itself as well, he got really lucky. He just landed it right behind because the starboard plate is still technically from the point where he took the shot off. It's a damn shame. All ahead, right rudder. Helm, make a course bearing 235.
Merlin, we are disabled.
Roger, just keep your guns firing. Yeah, so we're still taking... Oh, that was a pretty close shot there. Almost friendly fire. But yeah, this guy's been dead for like the last 10 seconds. Now, here is the next big problem. Is that, like I said before, when you cross the border, you get weapons lock on the main gun for 60 seconds. But the other thing is that the game always shifts the main turret into indirect fire mode after you cross. So throughout this entire engagement so far, my front gunner has not landed a single hit because he's not been in direct fire mode. He's been firing in indirect fire mode. Every shot he's been firing has been going off way into the distance. And throughout this entire engagement, he only gets one hit off on one gunboat. What the exact effect of this was on the outcome of the engagement, I mean, to be honest, like I said, by this point, all of the main things that determined the outcome of this battle was already determined 10 minutes ago at Searchgate. Not getting repairs in on Gorgazo was the biggest one. Not getting the slight repairs on Waffles is just a slight one. But yeah, I still am quite disappointed with this fight because we could have won this. It's a 3-on-5 actually. There's a 5th gunboat that comes from the opposite end, which I think is this guy's buddy here from the previous engagement. He's coming off from another angle. So two QRF guys come in and help out this unit here. So we're outnumbered 3-5. But like I said before, on paper and in experience, these are odds that we cannot overcome. It's very, very doable. But it's just slight mistakes and it cost us the battle. It's not going to happen again. Not going to make the same mistakes twice. I'm going to make sure we standardize that. But yeah, Wedge is only going to get one shot off in this entire engagement. I'm going to show that. But I think we probably could have like alpha damaged this guy down much quicker if we had gotten all the shots off from the front gun. And that would have allowed us to a little bit more room and shift our attention off to other threats. But yeah, it didn't quite go that way.
Copy.
Shoot the ones that are alive. Shoot the ones that are alive. You're shooting a dead one. All ahead. Helm, make a course bearing 252. Contact dead ahead. Starboard gunner standby. All stop. All stop. All reverse. All reverse. Come on, let him have it. Let him have it.
Damaged. We're damaged.
That right there is the only shot that my gunboat managed to get off on the main gun, and then we go down. So yeah, that happened there. I never saw the 5th gunboat. That was on the opposite side of this our platform where Gorgazo was engaging. But yeah, we only get 1 kill out of this. It's disappointing. But good learning experience. Very good learning experience. And yeah, the standardized fleet formations, we're definitely going to work something out. As we've seen here, having it line astern isn't quite the best idea. It was something that was that Waffle proposed, but considering because of the way that we want to stay broadside on to water gunboats, if you keep everybody at line astern, you're gonna get collisions the way that we did here. Now, granted, it helped out here, but it was a fluke shot kind of thing, right? It's not something we want to standardize. It's not something we can replicate. Not something that we can replicate regularly moving forward. But yeah, we're gonna try work. So the things we've got in mind now is just an echelon. So just have it behind to the left or the right. So as the lead gunboat commander, I have to, because I'm the one that's gonna get eyes on first on the enemies, I need to call the plays basically. Just put everybody in the right position so that when we do get an engagement, they're in the position that they can exploit in terms of maneuvering and getting their guns on target. That's something I'm going to have to work on because it's brand new to me. Most of the engagements that I've been in have been either 2 gunboats as screens with lots of recon, or be in the big ships where we've got massive battleships, destroyers, and longhooks, in which case we never quite got the command and control down. People just refuse to get on comms and refuse to work as a team. But not moving forward. We're definitely gonna figure it out once and for all and get it done. But yeah, we'll write up a couple of slides and some pointers regarding the fleet formations, and we'll try to implement that in the next major engagement. But yeah, that pretty much sums it up. All of the important stuff for this after action report. I'll end it here.